Welcome to our Gemara Shir, Masechet Shabbos Kuf Lamed Beis Amud Beis. In the middle of the page, we have the words Lishna Achrina Mila Doiches Atzoras. This shir is for the Ilu Neshama of my father, Menachem ben Akiva, and for the Atzola of all the hostages. Be'ezras Hashem should all be home soon, with no problems and no political agreements. So the question is as follows. We've been dealing with the following question. How do we know that Beris Milah, the mitzvah of Beris Milah, pushes away the prohibition of cutting off tzaras? It says in the Torah, beware of cutting nega tzaras, and you have to do it, says Lasles Kichol Asher, the Kohanim tell you, you have to make sure to not cut the tzaras. If a person has tzaras in his body, he has to make sure not to cut it. He has to follow the whole process, yeah, without, 1 second. So what happens if a baby has a tzaras right in the place of the milah? In the part of the body where bris milah has to take place, has to be performed, so the baby, the Gemara has two tzdodim. There was a tzad to say that milah pushes away tzaras, and the milah is stronger, and you do the bris milah on the 8th day, even though it means you're cutting the tzaras, which is otherwise forbidden. The other tzad was the other way, that really, no, wait until tzaras heals, and then you should do the bris milah. But the isser of tzaras and having to keep the tzaras there overrides the mitzvah of milah, because we're not sure there are two sides of kesiso. So then we said, oh, the pasuk is telling us the truth. Which pasuk is telling us the emes, the conclusion, the tiebreaker? B'sar or losri. The extra word b'sar, flesh of the baby's organ, the flesh, that tells me basar even with baharis. Now the Gemara is going to explain what was the back and forth. Why would I think that milah is stronger than tzaras, or the tzaras stronger than milah? What are the two tzdodim? Zog the Gemara azoi. Milah doiches tzaras. My time. Why would I say milah is stronger than tzaras, and you perform the bris milah and you cut the tzaras, which is otherwise a prohibition? The easy, simple. It's a famous yisod, which is mentioned in Yevomes, Daf Gimel, Daf Daled. Aseh dochel aseh. When you have a mitzvah aseh, at the same time, in order to perform the aseh, you have to push away the lo aseh. Such as the classical example and source for that is tzitzis and kilayim. The Torah tells us in the same pasuk, smuchim la'ad la'oilom. You have two things, smuchim, juxtaposed, as we say, and tzitzis and kilayim are together. Comes to tell me that tzitzis pushes away kilayim. You have a beged pishtan and tzitzis of tzemer, of wool. Gesundheit, yeah, the assay of tzitzis, of do wear tzitzis, pushes away the negative commandment of don't wear shatnez. Same thing over here. A mitzvah's milah, although it's very, very important and it's iso chorus if you don't do it, but milah is only an assay. While the lo ta'aseh of tzaras is a lo ta'aseh. Ishomer is lo ta'aseh. Ta'aseh, dochel lo ta'aseh. Simple. So the assay of do bris milah pushes away the lo ta'aseh of don't cut the tzaras. Okay, cool. That's one side. But as we said there's an arm wrestling here. There's the other side. What was the other side? Why did the Gemara say before, oy einoi, that maybe it's the other way, and maybe tzaras pushes away milah, and you shall not cut the tzaras, and wait until tzaras is over, and then do the milah? Why would I say that? Adarka Omar, afterwards, the Gemara rethought. The Gemara came up with another idea. You know, when we have the rule, when do we follow the rule of asay, pushes away lo taseh greda, when it's one against one, asay against a regular lo taseh. Hi, the story of the tzaras is asay v'lo tasehu, unfair advantage, which means when we have asay and lo taseh, It says he shomer locha b'nega atzoras. He shomer, as we said, is beware, is a loy ta'aseh. And that loy ta'aseh, he shomer b'nega atzoras, is followed with the words Lasos kichol asher yoiru eschem b'kohanim. Lasos means you should actively mitzvah say follow and obey what the kohanim tell you. Get that? So we have one assay of Milah against an assay and lota assay of the tzaras. That's not fair. And therefore, what really? Who pushes who? Two against one. Tzaras is stronger than Milah. I got to do Milah to my baby. How will I fulfill Bris Milah? Okay. Wait until the Beheres is over. When there's no Beheres, there's Milah. So right now, it's a disadvantage of Bris Milah. Right now, one against two. I would say that Milah should be pushed away because of Tzaras. Talmud Loimar, here comes the one and only Emes, what Hashem told us in the Torah. Talmud Loimar, Besar, Bosor, ve'afal pi shesham beheres. It says Bosor, even if there's beheres on the flesh, there's an extra word, Bosor, to tell me even if the beheres is there, even if the Saras is there, we still do the Bris Milah. That's what's behind the scenes of that back and forth of the limud. But the maskana is very easy. What's the maskana? Besar, afilu the beheres. Afilu with Taras, you still go ahead with a meal. Fine. Before we continue, let me just explain the terminology we're going to encounter now. The Torah talks about three types of babies that have to have bris milah. One of them is actually not a baby. The ideal situation is a baby that's 8 days old. That's called a koton. There's a situation called Benoni. The baby is more than 8 days old. He had jaundice, the male didn't come. They live in Papua New Guinea. They took them oil, 3 flights in 15 days and meeting 10 cannibals until it got to the place of the Milah. So now the baby is 15 days old. Was kann ich tun? The baby has the Milah, not Bismano. So that's called the Benoni. It's not done on time, but it's still done to a baby. The third situation is anybody above bar mitzvah that realizes, or the parents realize, he didn't have bris milah, right? The guy became from the age of 51 and a half, bris milah, right? And then what? That's called the godol. Him, the Torah deals with him differently, because the godol, the Torah describes, it doesn't describe, the Torah tells him that if he doesn't do bris milah, he gets chorus. Don't give chorus to babies or anyone below bar mitzvah. There's koton, benoni, and godol. Now let's see. What did he do say? Which one word teaches me in the psukim of Milah that the baby's bris milah pushes away tzaras? Boso. Boso is not always written. Tenach godol. By godol, it makes sense to me. It's understandable. Dechtiv behu boso. It says about a godol, when it talks about isur chores, the word boso is mentioned regarding the godol, a person above bar mitzvah that has achrayis, his own responsibility to have bris milah. Otherwise, who's going to get chorus? Him, not his father, when he dies. So if an adult has bris milah, which he should, if he wasn't done before, it says boso, boso. Let's say that adult has tzoras, do the bris milah, get rid of the tzoras. Kotonami, the other extreme, the cotton which is just 8 days old, kotonami ksibe boso. The pasuk mentions the yom shmini imol besar or losoi. On the 8th day, besar, besar is good. So the 8 days old has a little bit of misken tzaras right over there. Cut it, cut to the chase. Cut it, no problem. Benoni minolan. Funnily enough, there is a situation of Benoni, yeah. It says himoy lachem kol zochol. What's himoy lachem kol zochol, which is mentioned by Avram Avinu? Himoy lachem kol zochol comes to tell me that if he didn't have milah on the 8th day, the father is mechuyev to do the milah from 9 days until bar mitzvah. It's the father's chiyuv. But the word basa is not written there. So if that magic word boss is not written there, how do you know that a Benoni, how do you know that his Milah pushes away the matzav of Saras? Answers the Gemara, Omar Abaye. Says Abaye, makes sense. Ask him, in other words, the Benoni can be learned from the Godel and the Katan together. But you need both of them to teach me that a Benoni has Bris Milah done on Cheshbon of Tzoras. Why do we need both of them? Stog the Gemara Zoy. Mi Godel, if the Torah only told me, had the Torah only told me that a Godel, as his Milah is so important that it pushes away Tzaras, I wouldn't have known that the same applies to a kid below bar mitzvah. Why? Migodol loy asya. I wouldn't automatically, logically derive from a godol above bar mitzvah to one below bar mitzvah. Why? Shekin onush kores. Onush kores, which means, let me explain. As we said before, a godol's bris milah, as b'diavad as it is, Lamais is very severe. If you're above bar mitzvah, you don't have bris milah, it's very convenient. You know, nowadays, what's the fashion? To blame your parents. That's what everybody encourages people to do. But actually not. A kid that's above a mitzvah didn't have bris milah. Whose achrayus is it? His own. And if he doesn't do himself, if he doesn't take care of his own bris milah, the kid of 13 realizes that he's Jewish. He has to take care of his bris milah. Otherwise, he would get chorus. The shaken the kid below bar mitzvah, he doesn't get chorus. Let's say a kid died at the age of 12 without bris milah. Nobody gets chorus. Neither him nor his parents. No. So Mimela, above bar mitzvah gadol, of course, chorus. So maybe in order to avoid chorus, the worst thing possible, what do? We say, okay, push away the tzaras, just get the meal done quickly before anything. No chorus. But shaking the cotton, the Beinoni, no. How do you know, right, that his milah is that important to push away tzaras? Mi cotton, loy asya either. Maybe from the fact that the cotton means the 8 days old, he for sure his milah pushes away tzaras. Maybe that teaches me about the kid between 8 days and bar mitzvah, which is Benoni. Loy asya, no, I wouldn't have known. Why not? Sheken milah bizmana, avada. Milah bizmana is much more important than milah shloy bizmana. It's a big inyan, more than an inyan. Inyan is not the right word. It's a mitzvah lechatchila, which you do your best. And people are moister nefesh in the very far out places to either fly somewhere or they get the moil to them to have the milah b'ito bizmano. We always bless the new parents. What? B'ito bizmano. The bris should be on time. So milah bizmana is so important. I would say, of course, milah bizmana pushes away tzaras. You got to do it on time, the 8th day. But a baby that anyone missed the boat, he missed the train, he missed the right date of 8 days. Any time now between now and bar mitzvah is much more fluid. So maybe not. Maybe that doesn't push away tzaras. It's less urgent. So how do you know about the Benoni? Everyone together. The only common denominator between the Godol and the Koton, the common denominator between Godol, above bar mitzvah, and the 8 days old, both of them get Milah, and the Dechet Tzaras. Of course, so too, anybody else that gets Milah, which is the Benoni between the 8 days and 13 years, they too push away tzaras. Very nice. Rove Omar. Rove comes with a new source. Yes, soon we're going to use the papers, and we're going to have them online too. Rove Omar, tikach. Rove Omar, matana b'shvilcha. Rove Omar. Rove says as follows. Mila bezman adoicha lo tzricha kro. I don't need a posuk for Mila bizmana to tell me. I don't need a posuk. I don't need any verse in the Bible to tell me that Mila push bizmana, the 8 days one, the real deal one. I don't need a posuk to tell me that it pushes away tzaras. Who does need it? Okay, let's first see the Kal V'chomer, and then I'll tell you more. The Kal V'chomer, I can derive it with my own seichel. Because Baruch Hu gave a seichel, Baruch Hashem. I can figure out from a Kal V'chomer. Which Kal V'chomer? Listen, this has to do with the chart. Uma Shabbos de Chamira Doicho. We have established already that when it's Shabbos against Mila Bezmana, who's against who? I mean, we know who's against who. Who's winning? Mila. Mila pushes away Shabbos. Shabbos, the most important mitzvah. Ha'ois kodesh matono toivo, and Milah pushes away Shabbos, right? Tzaras l'kol sheken. Tzaras, which we assume is less than Shabbos, isn't Tzaras surely nidche from Milah bismana? Now you may ask a question, what about Milah Shaloi bismana? Milah Shaloi bismana is not Doiche Shabbos, as I told you yesterday. If a baby has jaundice, has stories, has I don't know what, choile, and his Milah is not on time, what do you say? Does his Milah does is not Doiche Shabbos. So how do you know these Doiche Tzaras? Says Rashi and Toyses both say for him you need the pasuk boso. The pasuk we mentioned before. But other than that, for a regular baby of 8 days old, it's a simple kal v'chomer. Let's repeat the simple kal v'chomer. We're not nothing complicated. If Milah pushes away Shabbos, which she does, kol sheken it's doich tzaras. Shabbos, you cutting on Shabbos? Oh, mamash shiso doraisa kolis. And it's doicha, you feel cool about it, good, you make a big party. I told you yesterday, my niece, there was a bris in Yerushalayim of our family. My son walked for like an hour. Yeah. So then what? What do you say? The bris milah is doicha Shabbos. Kol shekain, bris milah is doicha tzaras. Omar Rav Safra lerove, and now we're going to use the chart soon. Rav Safra is questioning Rav's logic as follows. Mimai de Shabbos chamira. I didn't know Shabbos is more chomor, more severe, more important, more grave than cutting tzaras. Deal with tzaras chamira. Maybe tzaras is more severe than Shabbos. Why? Shekin doichas avoida, va'avoida doichas Shabbos. Yeah, let's go back to the hierarchy that Totem Pole read yesterday. Ignore Mila, which is the first one, and look at tzaras avoida on Shabbos. Tzaras is pushes away avoida. Why? Because we know that let's say it's Erev Pesach or any korban, let's say the only koyanim that can work have tzaras, they have to do an avoida today. We don't cut the tzaras. We tell the koyanim, hey guys, Mr. Koyan, Mr. Khan, and Mr. Kanovich, stay with your tzaras. No way you can cut the tzaras. Ah, but I'm not going to do the avoida, so don't do the avoida. So tzaras is more important than avoida by pushing it away, and avoida is doicha Shabbos. Every child knows that Tmidim and Musafim are brought on Shabbos. That's major Chilul Shabbos in Beis Hamikdash, Kivyochol. So we see Tzaras is more than Shabbos. So just because Mila pushes away Shabbos does not mean automatically that Mila pushes away Tzaras. Boom. We just broke Rov's Kal V'chomer, right? Your premise, your idea that Tzaras is less than Shabbos is not true. Tzaras breaks Avodah, and avoid break Shabbos, so Tzaras is more than Shabbos, as we said before. That's a question against Tove. Okay? Okay, Zog the Gemara, no. Awesome could be that we're trying to break the part in the formula, the link in the chain of Tzaras Doicha Avoida. That's what we're going to kind of attack and find, faults all the time. The Achilles heel. Awesome, over there, the tzaras doicha avoida, lamishum de chamira tzaras. The reason why you don't cut off the tzaras of the kohen is not because tzaras is more important than avoida, which I stay with the tzaras because the heilige tzaras is more choshev than a korban pesach. No, elamishum de gavro de loy chazi, because the man, even if you cut the tzaras, the man himself will never, at least today, he will not be suitable for avoida because he had tzaras. The Gemara will explain why. We said it yesterday. We're going to explain it more now. Amai, the kutzba of Yavod. Well, what's the story of it's a problem in the Gavra? You're a brisker over here. Why? Let him cut the Beheris, cut the Tzaras. If you cut the Tzaras, you're Tohor. It's a very, very forbidden thing to do, but it's a quick and forbidden solution. But once the Tzaras is off, the Beheris is off, put a nice band-aid and start working in Beis Hamikdash. You see that we don't suggest that. So you see, the tzaras, the prohibition of removing tzaras is stronger than avoida. Dr. Gemara, no. Mechusa tvilahu. As we said yesterday, no. It's not that tzaras is really more important. No, it just won't help you. You know what? Tzaras is less important than avoida. Obazoi, if you cut the tzaras, you're going to do an avera, and he won't help you do the mitzvah. Why? Because he's still tameh. Even if he doesn't have to go through the entire Gehenna over there, all the tikkun of week after week, Lamaisa is still Tomeh, at least he has to go through Harav Shemesh, Tvila and Harav Shemesh. So today he missed the Avodah. What about Cutting the tzaras today for tomorrow's avodah, that's not a cheshbon. That's like the Baal Musar say. Don't do averis today for tomorrow's mitzvah. Every day is a separate cheshbon. Don't be mechashev, I'm going to do an avera now because later I'll be able to serve Hashem better. We don't look at that in Yiddishkeit. Doesn't go. So Lamaisa, it's not that tzaras so much more chashuv. He just won't do the trick because you would still have to do what? Wait an entire day. I mean, go to the mikveh, go and wait till tonight. So anyhow, you won't be able to do the avodah. Dog the Gemara, okay, I'm still insisting, says the Gemara. Teinach negoim tmeim, negoim tohoyer Michael Meimar. Oh, here we have a very, 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 very interesting concept. Apparently, some negoim are not metame. Well, first of all, we know that a nega at the beginning of the process, you have a nega which is like a grease, and you're not sure if the nega is metame or not. You have to call the kohen. At the beginning of the nega is not metame. The kohen did not define it yet as tome. Or Rashi says some negoim are tohor boyhak. There is a kind of nega called boyak. Now that boyak, even if you cut the boyak, you'll be tohor. It's a nega which makes the person, if he's a kohen, he's a kebal mum. He can't do the avodah, but you're not supposed to cut it. But if you will cut it, it will do the trick. Because if you cut the boyak, as long as you have the boyak, that's bad news. He's balmum. But Lamaisa, once the boyak is off, he's fancy free. He's not tummy. He's not tummy. He doesn't have to go to the mikveh. Doesn't have to wait for tonight. Aye. So look, what do you see? You see that be'etzem tzoras is stronger than avoida. Why? Because you see that even in cases of negoim tohorim, if I remove the nega tohor, there is a prohibition to remove the nega tohor. Especially if you say that it's a questionable nega that you have to still show the coin. So the prohibition of removing it is there. Why don't you move it and, go ahead, remove it and start working? You know why not? Aha. You see why? You'll be able to work right away in Beis HaMikdash. Why don't you do that? For the one and only reason that, against Rava, that really, Saras is more important than Avodah. Bad news. So let's go back to our list before we continue. Look, even if you move Milah, Saras, stronger than Avodah, because even if the Avodah would be able to be performed half a second after the Tzaras removed, you still don't remove the Tzaras. Tzaras stronger than Avodah, and Avodah stronger than Shabbos. Why are you telling me if Milah pushes away Shabbos, pushes Tzaras? Not true. Milah is pushing Shabbos. Shabbos is at the bottom of the list, and Tzaras is in the top of the list. So maybe Milah doesn't push away Tzaras. Wow. That's the time against all of it. Here comes the Gemara with the final answer. Elam Rabashi, to help Rove, says Rabashi as follows. We're going to see Rashi now. Says Rabashi like this. First, I'm going to read the words in the Gemara, and then we'll apply them to our sugya. Elam Rabashi. Let's just think for a second. Let's stop for a second and think. What's our claim? Why? Well, what's this whole tug of war here between Tzaras and Avodah? What's a Tzaras? Right? Tzaras is yes. In the world of Aseh Lo Ta'aseh, Avodah is an Aseh. You have to do Avodah in Beis HaMikdash, and the Tzaras is a Lo Ta'aseh. Right? Okay. So that's why we say, why doesn't it push it? Why doesn't it push it? Elamai, it shows you that Tzaras is stronger. Says the Gemara, no, it's not that Tzaras is stronger. It's just that the function, the formula, the mechanism of Aseh v'lo ta'aseh doesn't work over here. We'll explain it in the Gemara and in Rashi. We're going to be a very, very important and very easy to understand Yesod over here. When do we say that Hashem pushes lo ta'aseh? Kigon Milah b'Tzaras. When Milah is on the Tzaras, at the very, very, very same second, the same, when the baby starts screaming like crazy and the blood gushes out, that very interesting holy moment, what happens then? The very second you're over the Avera, you are removing Tzaras, you mekayim the mitzvah. It's the same time. Inami, tzitzis v'kilayim. When you wear Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu and you wear the tzitzis on your body, you just left the mikveh, the tzitzis is on, You are wearing kilayim, oy oy oy, but the very, very same second, I'm wearing tzitzis. One justifies the other. Look at the Gemara's lotion. The be'idna, the misaker lav, at the same time, the same idna, the same time that the lav is being pushed away, kamukim asay, the asay is being performed. It's mamish, 1 second. The collision is a good one. The asay right away pushes a lot asay. Also, over here, let's say that, what's his name? Let's say that Saras would be, even if Saras is more or less choshuv, it does make a difference. What do you want the coin to do? You want him to push away and cut the Saras. When will he work? At the same second he cuts the Saras? No. He cuts the Saras 9 o'clock in the morning. Let him put the bandage and, recover for 3 seconds, and then he does the avoida. That doesn't happen simultaneously. That's bad news. In the tsaras versus the voidna, but idna the misaker lelav, when the lav is being pushed away, loy kamuki masay, the asay is not being done, which means really you should know that enachinami, we're now pro Rova. We answered Rova. Really, tsaras is in the bottom of the list. Tsaras is less choshuv than avoida. The order, my friends, are Shabbos Kodesh, Shabbos, as we said before, Arba Azoris v'tzivuim. Yeah. Now, avoida is above Shabbos. That's a given. Avoida pushes Shabbos. Avoida was never part of the competition, but Shabbos is what above Tzaras. Why is avoida above Tzaras? Yes, avoida is above Tzaras conceptually. So why is Tzaras? Why is avoida not moving from? Why isn't avoida moving to the side to allow Tzaras, right? Or why? Well, excuse me, no. Why isn't Tzaras cut off and moves in order to allow avoda to come? It's not about who's more important than who. The mechanism doesn't work. We don't do an avera now in order to perform a mitzvah later. That we never do. It's not about who's more important. Even though Tzaras may be less important than avoda, but because Tzaras is now 9 o'clock and avoda is 9:20, that's why, right? Okay, I'll give you a good mashal. Let's say you have a nice orderly shop, in a very organized country. In England, I'm sure in America it's the same. In England, if you even merames to push the line, it's like, you killed someone, yeah? You don't jump the queue or even show any signs of thinking that way, right? So let's say there's a pauper who's not chashuv, and he's in front of the line, and behind him is the CEO of the chashuv company. Of course, the pauper, in the eyes of the brios, is less chashuv, but he's first in line. He's supposed to be served 9 o'clock, and the big CEO is supposed to be served 9:05. Doesn't show chashivus. It's a matter of timing. Therefore, really, avoida is be'etzem possibly more choshev than tzaras, right? So avoida is above Shabbos, and Shabbos is above tzaras. And by the way, now Rava is smiling. Rava is happy. What did Rava propagate all the time? That Shabbos is more than tzaras, and that's why Rava is a kal v'chomer. If Mila pushes away Shabbos, which is number 1, of course Mila will push away Tzaras, which is number 2. You know why the Tzaras didn't push away the avoida? Or why did Tzaras postpone the avoida? Because you can't do any Isser, even a minor Isser now, in order to do an Aseh later. Lot Aseh and Aseh only can fight against each other simultaneously at the same time. I will not read Rashi now because we don't have as much time as I thought. I wanted to read, it's very nice Rashi, but I will continue to the 2 dots, and if we have time, we'll read Rashi. Okay. Zog the Gemore, the Rov and Rav Safra, that machloikis between Rov and Rav Safra, because by the way, Rav Safra, if you remember, is the one who shed a doubt in Rov's words. So Rav Safra has to join the team that says that the source for Mila doichet tzaras is the word boso. Rava says, I don't need that word. No, I just think a regular kal v'chomer works. That's machlokes tamoyroim. Rov and Rav Safra tanohi. It's really machlokes tanoim. The Tanya. It says in the Brisa, boso, opinion number 1, works with the drosha. Boso v'afal pi sheyesh beheres yimoil div Rabbi Yoshia. Rabbi Yoshia holds, yeah. Boso, even if there is beheres, you still do perform the Beris Milah on the boso, regardless to its tzaras state. You always do the milah, even if there is tzaras. And that's like Rav Safra. They do need the limud. Rabbi Yonasan Oimer ain't tzorich. Rabbi Yonasan says, no, I don't need the pasuk to tell me that. The pasuk may be talking about Mila Shaloi Bizmana, because Mila Shaloi Bizmana does not push away Shabbos. But Mila Bizmana has that hand grenade, has this chosheva arm that it pushes away Shabbos, Avada, Shabbos Chamura Doicho. If Mila Bizmana pushes away Shabbos Kodesh, Isur Kores, v'chule v'chule, Tzaras L'kol Sheken. Of course, Mila is Doiche Isur of Tzaras, which is less than Shabbos. And Rav stands by his word that Tzaras, Isur Tzaras, of removing the Tzaras, is less important than the Isur of Mechalel Shabbos. What about the Avoida? It did not show lack of importance. It just showed that the two are not at the same time. You don't push away Avoida from Tzaras, because Tzaras now, and the Isur, and the Iyum Avoida will happen later. Okay, let's now read the Rashi. Elam Ravashi. Yeah, Elam Ravashi. Last Rashi in the page. We stand by what we said, says Rove. Shabbos is more severe and important than Isra Tzaras, removal Tzaras. Even though at the end of the day, Tzaras does push away Avoida. You just wait until the Tzaras goes away. That can be weeks and weeks. And only then you do the Avoida. It doesn't reflect on any Chumra of Tzaras being more in any way than Avoida or Shabbos. Elainu Taima. That's the reason why Avoida is pushed away by the Tzaras. When a se pushes lo ta'aseh, kigon Mila betzaras. Mila and Tzaras are fighting. That's a fair fight. That's a fair fight. They're coming to the ring, boom, the same second, yeah? Collision. The same second you koitzets, you cut, you do the lav and a set together. Who's the winner? The asay of Mila wins over Lo Taseh. Super Bowl, Super Bowl. They told me today is a Super Bowl. The chen tzitzis the kilaim. Sorry about that. The chen tzitzis the kilaim. Bishas levisha mi'aker lav u'mikayim aseh. Kilaim, the same second you wear the levisha of the tzitzis, u'mikayim aseh, and that pushes away the lav of kilaim. Aval tzaras and iktzetzis mushum avoida. You want to cut tzaras in order to do avoida? But either the mi'aker lav the ktzitza, when you are breaking the lav of ktzitza and you're doing something really osur to cut the tzaras, akati lo mekayim said the avoida. The say of avoida is not there yet. It will happen later. Yilkach midcha avoida mimele. Mimele the avoida mimele by itself out of no choice. Yeah, I'm stuck with tzaras because right now I have an issue of tzaras. Right now there's nothing that justifies it. V'lav chumra the tzarasu. It doesn't really reflect of any chumra of tzaras. Mimela, yeah, good, understood. Shkoyach Godel, Rabbi Say Chashuvim, Vaykorim. We're going now to Ma'ariv by the Rebbe. Shlita. Thank you very much to our Torah Anytime participants. We're coming. Thank you very much. Atzlacha brocha to all our viewers, all our friends out there. Shkoyach.